Hello there, this is Evie. Welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about Ghost website page customization. So I'm gonna walk you through how to customize your web page. I'm gonna use Ali Abdaal's theme as an example because we're not writing a page, we're not creating a website from zero, we are customizing, right? And what I'm gonna show you uses VS Code because you need to, but you're not actually coding anything, meaning you're not writing commands that are there for you, you're just tweaking them a bit so they can fit your design and what you wanna your website to look like. So maybe it's helpful to tell you one basic thing about Ghost and using that platform for your blogging. They do not allow page customization within their integrated system, meaning that you need VS Code to do any changes on your web page. If you hate the idea of it, if you just like the moment you see the coding window, you just get like super anxious and you're completely not a fan of that, you have two options. Either spend some time to find a Ghost theme that perfectly fits with you and you don't want to change anything about it, which is hard to imagine for me, but there are plenty of themes out there. I guess you can find one. And another thing is you can just use WordPress because, to be honest, much easier on the user side. You don't really need to code. There is a possibility to edit your pages without any coding ever installed, and I'm using Ghost because it's simple. It has newsletter integration in it, and once you start creating the content, meaning writing your blogs, actually writing your text, I really like the setup. It's clean, it's fun, and I've been on WordPress for a couple of years. I got tired, I got bored with it, and I wanted to upgrade, but I would have not started with Ghost if I knew nothing about websites and nothing about if I was super afraid of coding. I wouldn't have started with Ghost. Full disclaimer. All right, I'm gonna switch the cameras now. The camera I'm gonna use for the process of customizing the page is not gonna be this one, so my face not gonna look like that, but that doesn't matter because you're not here for this. You are here to fix your website. So let's get into it. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna open VS Code first, then we're gonna put our theme there, and then we're gonna walk through homepage and all the other pages to customize them. This is the theme, how it looks on his part. This is how it looks on my part. There's still a little things to like change here, but for right now, good enough. This is the Visual Studio coding. That's what you need to open. And then we're gonna put the theme there. When you install the theme, it's gonna look like this. This is the zip code. You need to go right button, click extract all, and when you click that, you're gonna get the folder. That folder can get into your software to actually use it. And when you do that, it's gonna look like this. If that wasn't open, you also can click open file, and let's say that file with the theme is on your desktop, Ali Abdaal, you select it here and you click open and it's going to open. All right, so first things first, we're gonna work with the home page, but we're not gonna work with this part first because this is the actual body of the page, which means we need to create that page first. But before we create the page, I'm gonna show you in VS how to change the other things that are on this page, which means those little blocks you see here, productivity, studying, YouTubing, I guess you don't want them to look the same, or even if you want them to look the same, let's say the text, how to execute efficiently, make time for what matters, you want to change that text. And then explore on his side, there's like book summaries, my online courses, my weekly podcast, you can change those. The other thing we're gonna do is when you scroll all the way down, look at this. This is his newsletter subscribe form. I'm guessing you don't want that text to be the exact same on your site. We're also going to change this sentence here. Check out my ultimate guides. So let's get into it. You go here and you go to home, right? So the first thing that you see here when you open it, actually it looks like that. home intro, those things you don't need to bother change anything, don't touch it. Go to line 45, where it's about home topics. He has productivity, studying, YouTube. Let's say in my case, for example, I wanted the first one to be called coaching. You're going to see actually that exists twice. The difference is that where it says href, this is a link, meaning that this doesn't show on the website. This is telling your page once I click here, where to lead me, right? That is important because there is a difference in the link when you have only one word and when you have two words as a name of that page. I will explain you now. I wanted this to be coaching. So I created a page that had the slug coaching in it. And that's why I'm typing coaching here. This is not necessarily the same as this. I can leave this to be productivity. And my website, when I open it, it's gonna say productivity. But let's say I want to create an actual look. Think about pages on your website as books. You have a bunch of books, and every time when you write a post, this is like a page of the book. Maybe it sounds not confusing because of the same word, but like I think it's easier to understand this. You have a bunch of books, and when you write something, you send those posts to that book. You tell the website, I want this to be part of that book, right? And if my book is called coaching, all I have to do is create a book that is called coaching with a slug and then a tag. A tag is basically what's gonna, like a keyword. Let's say when I create a post, I put the tag coaching and my website is gonna know, okay, that post was for that book coaching. I'm gonna send everything there. This is that part. The part with productivity here, the name is how it looks like on your website. Okay, there is no need to be different. So probably it's going to be the same, but you can use like capital letter for C because you want it to look that way. And that's all you have to do. Here is the text right underneath. You can just mark it and write whatever you want, like whatever you want. And it's going to look like that on your web page. That emoji here, let's say you don't like it, what you're going to do is you go to Google getemoji.com. You like something, let's say this guy or this guy or I don't know, this guy. In my case, this is just not part of that at all. In my case, I used a purple. Okay, let's say you want this one, copy, go back. You mark the emoji that you don't like. You delete it, right button, paste. Ta-da! Magic. Now you have it. Once you're done, all you have to do is just go to File, Save, and for your website to look like the changes you made, we're gonna have to re-upload the theme. But we're gonna do that re-uploading at the end rather than after every single step because that would be a waste of time. All right, so now that you're done with this, you can change all of those the absolutely same way. One thing to remember is about the words. Remember, I told you if you have two words as name of your book, you have to put hyphens between each word on the link only. In my case, for example, we are here. See, I have a book, which in the website world is a page called Being a Beginner. It looks like that. But for the website to know that when I click here, it needs to send me to the page Being a Beginner, I need to put hyphens here. So let's say I'm changing this. Being a beginner. I cannot type, obviously. And here it's how it's going to look. And this is the text again that I wanna, whatever, right? Once I'm done with this, although my pages are still not created, meaning I have not yet gone to Go's website, to the dashboard of my admin menu, and I have not created a page yet, being a beginner. Oh my gosh. This is good to go for right now. All right, when you scroll down, the explore menu is basically this part. Look at this. All right, let's say here's my online courses. We're going back there, we see it, my online courses. All right, you can delete this and you can write whatever the heck you want this to be called. Here in the xref part, it's gonna be the name for the page. See how this does need to be the same, right? My online course is the name that appears, and this is the actual name of the page. So let's say you want music, and it wanted to say my music hearts. Art sounds cool. All right. Then you can change the emoji the same way as we showed you earlier. Same with the next, my weekly newsletter, copy pasting, changing, file, save, re-upload, good to go. I'm gonna walk you through the re-upload as well. This now, it's completed for the home page, meaning you have changed this and you have changed this. Now, you want to change, for example, that sentence, you want to change this color, you don't want it to be blue, and you don't want your newsletter to say those exact words. What you're going to do is you're going to log in to your Ghost admin panel. Once you log in, things are going to look like that. Click on, no, actually once you log in, I think they're gonna look like that. Yeah, this is gonna be your menu. You're gonna click on settings, design, and here you open brand. What you see here, this first sentence is, when you share, the first line is going to be the name of your web page, right? And right after that is going to be the first sentence. For example, let's say you own music.com. And the first sentence underneath is music for everybody. If you want music for everybody, that's what you want to say, then you have to write it here, site description, music for everybody, and it's going to show when anybody's sharing the link to your website. Here it's the color. You can just click there, move that thing around, and it's going to change those colors here. See? This. That's what does this do. Here you see the same thing twice. It does not need to be the same. You can have it two different ways. I use Canva to create the logo and the icon. So the publication icon is this little thing here. Look at this. Look where I have my icon, and the logo is this part here. Okay. If you click here on the in the next slide, site wide, you can put your YouTube video if you want to. It's going to look like this. This is important for you. That footer subscribe form copy is basically that part. If you want to change those words, you type something here that is different, and it's gonna show here. Nothing else here is too important to you at the beginning besides the last. Click on home page, call out, check my resources is gonna change that sentence. If I put blah, and if I click save, it's gonna change that word to blah. I don't want it to be changed though. Once you click save, you're gonna see it with all those changes, and your website is gonna look different, which means you customize that part. Now let's go and customize this. For this, go back to, I'm gonna put leave here because I don't want to save those changes. Go to pages and you're gonna click new page. This is how it looks. If you want this font to look like his first of all, you gotta call that page home. But then if you want to use his fonts, you need one of this. And now remember, when you do that, click space and then whatever you want. If you want the next text to look a bit smaller as it is on his side, you're gonna put two of those. Space, I don't know. See how it's a bit smaller. This word home is not gonna appear on your page, but it has to be here. More importantly, when you go to settings, in your case, this is gonna say home. In my case, it tried to say home too because I already have existing page home. I'm gonna show it to you now. But this is how you start. I'm gonna go now to pages. I'm not gonna save that at all. I mean, actually, I'm going to go down and delete because it's just easier. Here is how I created it. Home, it's obviously there. And this is the text I wanted to use. That's all I wrote for that page. Here, my slug. This is the slug where you write it. It's home. It has to be home. No tags, nothing else. Template is default. That's all you have to do. And then from this, your page is gonna look, your text on the page is gonna look like this. I have not added a link yet. All right, so now we have created the homepage, looks beautiful. This is changed, but we don't have those pages existing yet, right? So in this case, you need 3 pages, one for here, for here, for here. Let's say I need a coaching, being a beginner, and YouTube. This is important here. When you create the coaching page, it's pretty straightforward. It's gonna look like this. You can put a picture if you want to, then you write whatever you like. Here, coaching has to be the slug again, as you wrote it on the VS coding. Nothing interesting here. That part, though, it's interesting. If you want, look at this. Say I click here on his page. This is the name of the page, and there's this sentence. If you would like to have a sentence there, you have to write it here. In my case, when I click coaching, it goes here, and this is my sentence. I'm probably going to remove that picture because it's ugly. I do like the brain, but not this, although I do like purple and a lot of purple hearts. There's something about it that bothers me. Never mind. What is interesting on his theme and what I like about this theme is those hubs. Hubs are those little blocks of pages, because this right now, it's a link to a page called productivity. This is a link to a page called studying, link to a page called YouTubing. So when you go here, you see this like general page articles and drop down menu with other pages that are hubs to this bigger page. I love that part. You cannot create this part so easily in Ghost. Again, if you never want to open coding in your life and do anything, WordPress is better for you because this is so much easier there. It's like in 2 minutes, no, 2 seconds, click, and you're there. With Ghost, not so easy. You have to find a theme that has already written the code for you. So you can only then have to change the names of the pages, but the code exists. Otherwise, from scratch, it's not that easy. Here, what we have to do again is create page for each of those topics. So in his theme, the maximum topics you can have is 7. If you want less, you just delete. I'm gonna show you now. We're gonna do that part. Go to Visual Code again. You're gonna click partials and you are going to open topic list first. All right. So those are the topics that you want to have on your articles page, right? Let's say you don't want to have all of them. Here he has put a link to 4 in his team documentation. If you want to have only 2 or more, First, I'm going to show you how to have only two. You just mark that part because those are like the extra topics, and you just delete it. Bam. Control Z, put them back. If you want to have more, this is how it looks like for a page. You're going to copy it. You're going to come here. You're going to leave one row free. Bam. And you can do this 7 times. All right. Let's say the first, in my case, the first topic was where he says productivity was coaching. So I'm going to write coaching again. And you do whatever you want. Make sure you change it everywhere. Here is the link. So again, if there are 2 words, put hyphens here, like being a beginner. It's going to be like being a type. I cannot type like that. Obviously, I mix it up because here I'm talking about coaching, here I'm talking about being a beginner, but I'm just saying the same things. So topic list from partials is where you change the names. Now, what you also want to go to is click on Hub Sidebar. This is where actually you're changing those things. So the topic list is changing this, and the links, once you click here to send to the right link, the hub part is actually changing this outlook. So again, this is one topic. If you want more, you're gonna copy, you're gonna come here and you're gonna paste it, and you're gonna change the names accordingly to yours. You'll be careful where it says href for the link. This is where you have to put the hyphens if there are 2 words or more. When you're ready, you're gonna go to File, you're gonna click Save, and it's done. Now, if I go back, let's say I'm really done, I clicked Save, and I want to finally change how my website looks like. I'm gonna go to your dashboard. You're gonna go to Design, and you're gonna click Change Theme. You're gonna click Upload Theme. Oh, one actually second to tell you something. Once you are here, File, Save, right? It's gonna save here, that folder. Okay. However, in order for you to actually upload it, you're gonna mark the folder, right button, and you're gonna send to, and you're gonna click compressed zipped folder. Once you click this, it's going to create a new zip. It's gonna be called Ali Abdaal 1 in that case. And this Ali Abdaal 1, when you go to website, bam, upload theme. When you click here, you have to select the zip file, the new zip file. So Ali Abdaal 1. You're gonna select it, you're gonna say yes, it's gonna ask you to override your current theme, you're gonna say yes. And once you do that, your website is gonna look different. As I said, we need to create tags. So when you make a post, the website knows I need to send that to that page, right? So when you do that, how you do that is go back to your settings, click tags. Look at how I have tag for each of my page. Beginner, book, coaching, news, newsletter, podcast, YouTube. Interesting thing for here is that you don't need to put the hyphens for the name. That is not, again, what you care about, but you do care for the slug, because this with the hyphens, again, is linked to the link of your page. It has to have the exact same outlook as the page. Look at this page, beginner. When I click to settings, here is with hyphens, and this is by default. This you cannot change. Like, you cannot write a single word here without this part. All right, so now what you have is your homepage and your topics, which means you have created a page for each topic, and now you can start posting. Good to go. His team comes with 2 extra pages called podcast and book notes. Let's say you want to have them, or whatever team you chose from goals to have. Usually they have more pages templates for more pages integrated that are not automatically open. And if you're lucky enough, they're all open and you just have to choose a template when you create a new page. I'm going to show you how. But if you're not that lucky, they're not open, you have to enable them. So I'm going to show you how to enable different page themes from the website theme that you already have chosen to use. Go to VS Code again, and we're gonna close partials because we don't need it anymore. We're gonna go to routes. So this is how it looks when you get the theme originally. Okay, podcast and book notes are not enabled or at the very beginning when you get the theme, and it could be with any other theme. You want to enable them. What you have to do is delete those things, literally that space and this, you have to delete it. Bam. Bam. Once you delete it like this, click tab. Now those are enabled. What you have to do is go file, click save again. More importantly, you have to which is very easy on goals. On other websites, that part is actually more complicated. All you have to do is upload your routes. So you go back, you save it, you go back to your dashboard, right? That's how your dashboard looks like, remember? You're gonna go to settings, you're gonna click labs. And here on the routes, you're gonna click upload. And I don't want you to see my desktop. You're gonna select the routes from that folder. What does this mean? Okay, I'm gonna actually show you. So you click there, you go to Ali Abdaal, so you open this, you open that, you select this, and now you click open. I don't want to click it because it's gonna automatically upload those, and I don't want them to change because right now they're perfect the way they are. But you just click open and it's going to automatically change this. Once that's done, you don't have to do anything else besides going to pages, click a new page to create a new page. And now you're gonna have different options for the podcast and the book notes. What is different? Let me show you. This is my podcast page, right? So I put a picture right at the beginning, then it's my text, and then I put all those links to my podcast. See, this is like huge. This comes after the text, this comes before the text. It looks a bit different, but let me show you how it actually looks on the website, because how the theme is designed. Click here, I click on podcast. Look how much more beautiful it is. Like, this is the theme design, and I want to use it because, let's say, I really like how it's split, the page is split into parts, and to me that's perfect. I can leave it as it is. And then when I create a post, which means, let's say, for each episode of my podcast, I want to introduce it, and I want to say, let's say my first podcast episode is the differences between coaching and therapy. I create my post, and when I create my post, I'm gonna use the tag podcast. That's another thing here. So when you go back, tags, you need to create a tag for podcast. It's gonna say podcast because it's only one word. When there are no more words than one, it's so easy. You only have to worry about those two words and the slug to use your hyphens when you have two words, obviously. I create the tag, I click save, I have it. Then I go to post and I create new post. I write whatever I want. Hello, episode 1. If I click settings, I go to tags and I click this to be on podcast. It's going to appear. Actually, I'm going to save it now to really show you. Publish. Click here, select publish only. You don't want to send this as an email to anybody. Continue, publish post right now. Bam, this is how it looks, episode 1. And where it is, it's on my podcast. Ali Abdaal's theme is super cool for the fact that here on the home page, it's going to show latest articles. It's going to show my article. See, it's under podcast because I put a tag. That's the name of it, and that's the nothingness I created there. But it's podcast. Scroll down, and here it's gonna be this here. The picture, it doesn't show anything because I didn't put anything. But obviously, I could have probably put some nice emoji or yeah. And that's the thing with Ghost. If you want simple things like columns on your pages, you have to open VS Code and write it to create it. In that sense, again, WordPress is much more friendly platform for beginners because a lot of those things are 2 clicks away from having it instead of coding for it. If you do know a little bit about coding, though, it's actually pretty easy as well. As you saw, the documentation is quite short. There's not like tons of coding, tons of like text. It's easy, but it's a different way to achieve it. But if I were starting today with blogging and creating a website and there was no theme that was perfect the way it was on Ghost and I just didn't want to change anything about it and I had to go through this without knowing anything, I would have been overwhelmed. And if you are this person, I really hope that today going through the steps helped you. If there's something that I showed today and it wasn't clear enough and you're still wondering how to do it, especially if you're using Ali Abdaal's theme, please leave a comment in the description. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna answer it because I want you to be successful. I wanna help you. Now, the last thing that I now remember I didn't show you is that newsletter page. Go back to your dashboard. When you create a page for the newsletter, that theme, that page theme is already enabled, already exists. So all you have to do is go to page. I'm gonna click new page. I'm gonna just open the newsletter so I can show you. This is how my newsletter page looks like. You don't have to worry about the subscribe form because it's already there on the theme, the template. Look at this. Settings. It's very 100% important that your Slack again says newsletter exactly like this because that's how it's in his documentation. You're gonna click, you're gonna go all the way down here, you're gonna select just newsletter, right? So the difference between this is whether the rest of the website, the navigation is shown or not. Now, one more thing that I remember actually now that we are here, hub pages. Remember, when we are here, this is my main page. And when I click on it, I see those 2 pages here, the links to those 2 pages that are my topics. Those are the hub pages. So when you go to page, you're gonna create a new page. You're gonna click here, new page. And for each of those topics, let's say my first one is coaching. When you go to settings, when you scroll all the way down, template, put hub. This is very important if you want it to look like this, if you want to use that integration. One last thing again that I now remember to share with you is for Ali Abdaal's theme, if you want that drop-down menu to look like that, there's one way to do it. Only one way. Now, when you have everything done, like you have created the pages, you have created the tags, you have enabled the other 2 templates for the podcast and for the book. Everything is there, but actually it does not look like this yet because you haven't done the navigation part. Let me show you the navigation. So you have this pages already existing, right? When you click on either of them, book notes, right? You click settings and you go view page. Go here, copy this. Now go back, go to settings, click navigation. And you have to here write the name for each page you have. In that sense, we are copy pasting book notes. So book notes. And here you're gonna paste that link you just copied. And if you are adding more pages, you're gonna click green here, and you're gonna like write the name of the page, whatever it is that you have, and you're gonna have to copy paste the link from that page. And you click save, and then you actually have them visible on your website. Here, two important things. If you want that drop-down menu, like this is a drop-down menu, right? You have the main article, and these are my two topics. When you look at he has here, this is the main article. These are your hub pages, and when you go here, you have 7 topics. This, how to do that part. When you go to navigation, first of all, the main page, the mother page, has to be first. See, this is how you move them. You can move it like this block. It has to be first. If it's not first, it's not gonna work. And then for each topic to be a drop down, you have to just write those two. That's it. That's it. No space, nothing else, just like that. Here, the link is just the link to the main page, which is in my case blog, in his case articles, doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be the same name, but it has to be first. Once you're done with that, you click save, and oh yeah, everything is done. That's it. That's